All right. You know what? It's almost time. Almost time when some of these lives will end up being outside. And I have to remember to do my thing. Hello. Alrighty, I'm going to do the sharing because sharing is caring. So on each one of my channels on TikTok, I'm going to share out to my followers. So for those of you on Facebook, just hang on. Or TikTok, hang on. All right. Sure. And that's good. Hi. How are you? All right. So I'm going to share out on my other channel and then, not that, wrong button. Oh. Hello. I'm just sharing out to followers, so just give me a second, guys. Hello. I have to, like, my list, I need it to refresh at some point, so I have to think, who am I sharing it out to? If they're not watching, maybe if I stop sharing it to them, eventually they go off the list. I don't know. Inquiring minds want to know. Interesting. All right, that's fine. It's good enough. Good enough. How are you guys doing? I send out set the intention that whoever is meant to hear what I have to share or who wants to know how to work with the living sky, they're going to show up. Those who want to hear what message I'm going to do with the cards today, they're going to be here because they're meant to hear it. And if not, then they're going to catch the replay, or I just needed to say it. Nobody needed to hear it. It just needed to be said. Sometimes you're that powerful. I don't know if you realize that, right? When you're aligned with your, your higher self. All righty. Yeah, I was looking at these cards and I feel like these cards are definitely cards that I'm going to keep for inside the embodied leadership circle. I don't feel like they just really, they don't really do well. They don't convert well on here. So anyway, we're going to use the Ethereum Tarot. We're going to do our check-in. I might use the 44 Keys of the Way and also the Return to Center Oracle. These are all my decks that I have created. And we'll see what else comes out. I'm going to, after that, we'll talk about a couple of things. We'll see. Join in the conversation for sure. It's a live because you're here, so please be part of that live. It makes no sense for it to just be me talking to you all, and you just sitting there. That's a class. If you want to take a class with me, I've got lots available. But if you're going to hang out here, you might as well be part of it. Right? Okay, so when I'm checking in on the collective. So this may apply to you. You may feel it, or you may see it in society. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're experiencing all of this, okay? So this is just the collective energy that I am asking to reveal through the cards and whatever messages come through. All right, and that was at 444, by the way. Okay, all right, let's see. What is the, what's happening with the collective right now? Can we get a good energy? Hello. Apparently we're getting we're getting a good message. He really wanted to come out. That makes sense though, but let me pick up a couple of the other ones. All right, we have a little bit of ups and downs going on here. It's quite fun. All right. Interesting. This is collective energy. I like this. You're going to like this too. All right. Very interesting. Okay. We're going to just start with these cards and then we'll expand from there. This is collective energy and it's not anything that you wouldn't really expect. It is the collective energy. These are all the King of Water, the King of Fire, and the Queen of Earth. And all of these are in the reversed position. So the collective energy is that there's emotional repression, right? That there's manipulation. Collectively, there is manipulation, and more of us are waking up to that fact, right? There is an imbalance. A lot of us recognize that as well. There's an imbalance, though there shouldn't be, and not the way that there is anyway. If there was, it should probably be inverted. I like to call it inverted clown world that we're living in, but that's my own personal opinion. You don't have to ascribe to that at all. There's detachment. And for a lot of us, this is a very key thing. We do need to be detaching from the energy out there. You can't be investing your energy in all the drama and all the fear-based stuff that's going on because it's not even necessarily real. We're seeing the rise of AI, and as it gets better and better, people are having a harder and harder time identifying, is this person real? Right? As they start to have videos where, you're not seeing blurs, you're not seeing, distortions, where they're getting better at capturing fingers and movements and stuff like that. It's getting really, really hard for people to tell the difference. So that detachment is key for a lot of us. We do have to detach. We have to look at what we can control. Right? If you can't control it, you have to find a way to release the emotional entanglement to it. Right? That's emotional mastery. It's not that you're not recognizing what it is and that it's bad or that we need to change things, but you're not allowing it to affect your emotions to where it's affecting your life, because how does that help you? It doesn't. Okay, so the King, this is about mastering our emotions, but right now, we're looking at it in the inverted. Hello, love. So then we have the King of Fire. So what does this represent reversed? And this is recklessness. Where are we seeing recklessness right now? I mean, it seems like a lot of people up here have completely lost their minds. Like it, for those of us that are aware, it's absolutely gobsmacking. Like, I don't know what's a good word when it's like you're just stunned that other people can't even like see it at all. Hello, love. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Okay, so this is the collective energy. It's recklessness. Over controlling tendencies. Where are we seeing over controlling tendencies right now? Right? I mean, everywhere you turn around and look, it's like, oh, this bill is being passed, or this bill is being passed, or this thing is being implemented. And it's like, wait a second, when did I agree to be treated like a cattle and where I have to like somehow exchange my hours for the right to have food? And it's only if I'm a really good person and speak how I'm supposed to speak that I'm entitled to certain luxuries like meat. and don't worry, we've got a tick for that. And don't worry, we've got a vaccine for that tick. So you're covered no matter what. Like, it's clown world. It's like there's over controlling that's there all the time. Like, it's crazy. I mean, when you see it, you see it. When you don't, it's because you don't want to. All right. So we've got burnout. And a lot of us are. A lot of us got into thinking that the only way that we had to do hustle and grind, that you had to literally trade your hours for money. And we're in this system. We're in this system. We have to work our way out of that system, right? And a lot of us are burning out. We're burning out because our nervous system isn't getting a break. We go into, say, a job or a workplace where maybe we really aren't satisfied. We come home, maybe into a relationship where we're maybe not satisfied. Maybe our mental health isn't the best. Maybe our physical health isn't the best. There's a whole host of things. I was there before. I had a relationship that was unhealthy. I had a job that I overworked myself and burned myself out at. I had health that went to the freaking down the drain. And I had to wait for my breaking point, which happened to be when my health took my job and I couldn't work. And then I had to get back to work because that's where, I could run away from everything. And I stayed sick long enough that I couldn't run away anymore. So I had to do my healing journey. Everybody has their point. Everybody has their moment where they say enough is enough. And that's with everything. It's not just with the healing journey. It's with every step of the evolution, right? I started doing yoga. I was really consistent with it for a while. And then something happened that broke the habit, and you forget to get back to it, right? Like it's one of those things where it's something that I enjoy doing because it's not just a physical thing, it's a mental thing and spiritual thing. Like when you do it, when you embody it, it's a beautiful practice. So I love doing it. So why am I not doing it? Right? We all have to have these little encouragements to do the things that are necessary, the moments that you need rest, the things that are good for you, the downtime that you need, disconnect from the TV, disconnect from the news and the media and everything electronic, right? Turn your Wi-Fi off for the night and see how you feel the next day. See if you start to feel better, if you start to keep your Wi-Fi off as much as possible, right? I feel so much better ever since I started keeping my Wi-Fi off. It's crazy. What I would really appreciate for you guys that are watching is if you could tap the like or comment or interact in some way, because that helps me get out to other people. And if you're watching and you're not liking it and you're not commenting, then TikTok's like, I get points for longevity, I suppose. So the other thing that this card represents, and this, remember, is collective energy. It represents resisting your own leadership. And how many of us are trapped in the situation that we're in because we've given up our own sovereignty, thinking that something outside of us was going to save us, or something outside of us was going to protect us, or, and it all started like that. Here's this problem. Here's this solution. Less rights. Here's this problem. Here's this solution. Less rights. It's a cycle. But we are part of that cycle because we essentially agree to it. It's just lovely. Okay. I'm just channeling, guys. It's what's coming through. My head's just buzzing right now. Okay, we also had the Queen of Earth in the shadow. Okay, so this is the collective energy. So a lot of us are neglecting our self-care. We're overextending ourselves. And collectively, that's been done because everything keeps going like this, except what's coming in here. And so people are feeling the crunch more and more. People who before were doing okay now aren't doing so well because it's just the strain that they are putting us, right? Like it's that cycle that we have to break. So a lot of us are overextending ourselves. Many of us have trauma, we have belief systems that align us with the concept that we are only worthy if we are doing something. And that's through a variety of different ways. And we're not going to delve into all of those. If you want to delve into that, we could do that, but just you can go check out the website. Financial instability, and that's another thing that many people in society are dealing with. And it's not even, it doesn't matter who you are to a certain degree. I mean, I know that I'm pretty sure that Elon isn't sitting there going, oh, whew, I don't know what's going to happen next month. I don't know how I'm going to, it's going to be, oh, it's big wicked if I'm going to get my bills paid, right? Like, I don't think he's thinking at all. But there are a lot of people that even who are comfortable right now are going, what's going on with society and where are we headed? And, like, will I have a 401k? Will I have, any of these things that I'm paying into, that I'm not even going to access for 20, 30, 40 years and beyond? Are those things even going to be available then? Or is, like, a lot of people are feeling that financial instability. It's done on purpose too, because the more that we can, be kept in fear and so on and so forth, the more that other people can have control. So the other thing is feeling disconnected from nature and or abundance. Many of us have disconnected ourselves from nature. Thank you, sweetheart. We lost our connection to it. We live in basically concrete jungles. And, some of us think that, the tree that you see on the corner, if you walked to the corner store, let's say in the city, that's nature, right? But you're not getting out by the lakes, or you're not getting out into, being around nature. And even more on a day-to-day basis, exploring it in conversation, right? Having conversation with nature. I mean, not just talking to people about nature, but actually being in conversation with it. And that means just paying attention to the changes of season, pay attention to what is growing in your area. So you're just familiar with what's in your area, putting your feet on the earth and actually connecting with it. There's so many different ways that you can rebuild that connection with nature, and you'll see how abundant nature is when you start to connect with it. Even though we've been told numerous times that, we're in this big lack and there's not enough space and we're overpopulated and it's just lies. But, so we have to get back to the understanding that there is abundance everywhere, right? You get a pepper, right? You get one of those green peppers. How many seeds are in there? You know how many peppers you can grow from one seed? And there's a lot in a pepper. Like, right? You can grow that in a pot in your house if you want to. Put it near a window so it gets nice light, nice daylight. One pepper turns into, hundreds. All right. So the Queen reminds you that true wealth comes from a balance of material success and emotional fulfillment. You have to be happy with what you're experiencing in your life, right? Whatever you're doing to make money, I hope you're not miserable while you're doing it, because that's really unfortunate to have to go and spend that much time in that state where you're just like, oh, right? I remember being like that, where I would just be like, oh, I gotta go to work tomorrow. Right? Yeah, there were definitely times when you're just like, oh my God. Working as a nurse wasn't always fun, I'll tell you that. All right. We also had the 6 of Earth in the reverse position. And that's talking about power imbalances, right? And there's definitely a power imbalance that's around right now, right? There's a lot of us that are giving without receiving, and it seems like it's most of us at the bottom that are giving extra while we're not receiving what we should be receiving, right? Nobody should ever have to worry about whether or not they're going to survive because they can afford the essentials of life. Like, that should be a crime against humanity. If you die because you cannot survive with having the essentials of life, right? So if it was anything to do with water, with heat, with housing, with food, with any of those things, air quality, doesn't matter. If it's anything that as something that's essential for your quality of life. If you die because of that should be a crime against humanity. My personal opinion. My personal opinion. Okay, so we're seeing that. Again, it's talking about financial hardship. So there's a doubling energy of that. And I mean, we're seeing it, right? And there's also manipulation through wealth, and that dynamic exists, right? We have to be willing to redefine what is wealth for all of us, right? Every single one of us has to take a look within and say, what really is true wealth for me? Is it what they're portraying on TV of the big flashy house and the big flashy cars and, the trips all over the place? And don't get me wrong, like having a wonderful life, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting abundance. There's nothing wrong with wanting a house or a car, and even a nice, big, beautiful house. It's a matter of when we get to the state that we're in right now, where we have this enormous amount of greed and we have this enormous disproportionate wealth between people, right? When somebody has so much wealth that generation and generation and generation and generation away from them would never have to worry about money, while somebody else is starving because they don't have enough money for food, that's just like, it's criminal. I'm just thinking, my personal belief. Anyway, I'm going to take a sip of tea and then we're going to move on to some other cards. We have the Ace of Fire. So guess what's happening? We're getting inspired, getting lit up. I forgot which tea I made, so that was a surprise flavor. I thought it was the other one. All right, so we're getting, here, I'll show you it. I love this card because it's got the little baby dragon in it. It's cute. By the way, I did all these pictures. All these pictures were created by me on Procreate. I'll show you some other cards when I do them. But anyway, hello. Okay, so we've got the baby dragon. The baby dragon is divine inspiration. So more and more of us are awakening. More and more of us are having spiritual insight, or we're connecting to other people, right? It's like people coming here and hanging out with me at 222, like, right? So all of these things are happening. Like, we're being drawn together. We're magnetizing as we continue to evolve. We magnetize more people to us, and so on and so forth. And we keep rising. And so this is the divine inspiration, that spark that's coming in. All right. So there is a new beginning. There's going to be a creative surge. Maybe you've decided, hey, you know what? I think I know what I came here to do. Maybe I know what fills my heart, and I'm going to go do it. Wait a second. One second. I might have to step out of the room and cough for a second. I got a tickle in my throat. I'm coming, guys. Alrighty. I decided sorry. Hello. I'm back again. All right. So this is where we are going to get a creative surge. We're going to step into our personal power. There's going to be this energy of fearlessness. Hi, Flori. How are you, love? And rapid forward movement. You can feel that, right? You can feel the energy picking up. And I think it started to happen kind of late April. But now for sure into May, we're really going to hit into that energy and start just going. I'll do some more cards, but we're going to pull from a different deck. Okay. We're going to pick from the 44 keys of the way. So these cards, I have to say, are one of my favorites. Because I hand painted these. I did them all in watercolor and then, added some little embellishments to them. And I just love them at 24, 4, 4. All right. Okay. We're going to take that card that flew way over there, but I'm going to have to go and get it. It really wanted out. It almost threw everything else out. Sometimes the cards are just hopping. I'm good, Flory. How are you? It's nice to see you. How are things in Costa Rica? I have a question too, okay, Flory? I have a question. Hello, guys. Okay, I'm gonna see. Yep, I was just about to say I want to see if there's one more card, and then I got to go grab that one that's way over there. Okay, so hang on. Hi, thank you. No. Okay, so the first card that came out from the 44 Keys of the Way is the Open Path. And the affirmation is, I remain open to new possibilities. Okay. Remembrance. Openness increases options. And it does. When you're very rigid, and we're going to say that next, rigidity narrows them. Curiosity invites solutions. So when we narrow it down to there's only one possibility, right? We close ourselves off to the possibility of something coming in a different way. This would be, say you're like, I have a type as an example, and you're looking for a relationship, and they're like, they have to be exactly like this. And well, if you're only looking for that particular thing, you're not going to see it if it shows up for you looking different or dressing different or whatever, right? So that's what it means by that. And when you remain curious, it's going to open you up, right? It's really going to open you up to possibilities. And it does. It invites solutions as well. Okay, so your practice is to try one new approach, to observe the results, and to keep what works. Okay, so try something new, or try to approach something that you do in a different way. Invite that newness and see how it goes. Change your routine up slightly. Right? I miss it. Do I say it right? Because that's what I was going to ask you, Flory. Do I say A, do I say your name right? And B, is it Costa Rica? Because when I was there, that's what everyone was saying. But I hear people all the time call it Costa. So I just want to be correct. If it is Costa, if that's how it's actually pronounced, then I will pronounce it correctly. So, and you can correct me. All right, next card was this one. Hi, Miss Carol. Hello, love. How are you? Okay, so this one, and we have, I have to make sure I'm not going too close, that I'm not allowing you to see the card. This is the living legacy. The affirmation is, my life contributes to the future. It does. It does. Remembrance. Daily actions accumulate into legacy. Small choices scale over time. Intention guides direction. Okay? It's your daily actions that create the future, right? So if, let's say, the future you is healthy, right? What does that mean to you? What does it mean to be in that health? What do you think that you have to do to get to that person? Well, start doing it today and you'll become that person in the future, right? It's just the way that it works. If you want to run a marathon, you got to put your running shoes on and you got to start walking at the very least, right? And then maybe you start running and then you run further and, you condition yourself to be able to run the marathon. but it doesn't happen if you don't at least lace up your running shoes. So we have to do that. So choose one habit to build, do it today, repeat it tomorrow. And then you'll be it in the future, whatever it is that you're leading, right? If you want to learn how to play the guitar or something like that, just pick it up and start doing it. And then we got the living legacy. So this is really about us improving ourselves, right? When it's talking about being open and curious, and then also the living legacy. So building our knowledge base, right? Being consistent, that devotion, right? Discipline is devotion to your highest path or your highest self, right? Rika. Yeah, I will learn someday maybe to roll my R's proficiently, but I did a pretty good job right there, I think. So either one, that doesn't help me. So if Costa, okay, Costa Rica. And so that's the only part I have to do is roll the R part better. Costa Rica. Like once I get that down, that'll be even better. I love that. Sorry. Yay. Okay, let's talk about our living wisdom. Okay, so the living wisdom, the affirmation is wisdom grows through lived experience. My dog's chewing on a bone. I do apologize for the background noise. Remembrance. Information becomes wisdom when applied. If you're not living it or embodying it, me too, it's one of my favorites. It's very dear to me, I'll tell you that. So if you learn something and you don't apply what you learn, then all it is information. And I say this every time about how if it's a self-help book, but all it does is sit on your shelf, then call it a shelf-help book, because it's not helping you, but it's just helping your shelf look smart. It's not like you haven't used it. So how it's not a self-help yet. It's just helping your shelf look pretty. Right? So you have to embody it. You have to integrate it. You have to live it. Right? That's why we're seeing all these things falling right now, is because they weren't built on structure. They weren't built on the truth. Right? And behind the scenes of these things that have been built between religion and politics and all of that stuff is that it was fake. They're not actually what we thought they were. They're totally different, right? So that's a big shift that we're going through. And that's why they need to fall, why it needs to fall, because it's fake. It's not real. It can't stand. Okay, so testing refines understanding, right? You start testing 3333 on the timer. We got 222 as well. So when you're refining, and every time we cycle through Virgo energy is refining energy of the environment. So keep that in mind. So we're cycling through the Virgo moon all the time. But and then we have Virgo season, and Virgo is one of the larger signs. Like I think it is actually, in fact, the one that occupies the largest space celestially, like boundary, the size of the sign, the celestial body. It is, but anyway, because it occupies such a large space, we spend a lot of time, whether we're in Virgo season or the moon's in Virgo or one of the other major bodies is landing into Virgo again. So that's our opportunity to refine. That's all we're meant to do when we're looking at the celestial objects. You can look at your energy, 3434. You can look at your energy all the time and say, how is the energy of the celestial bodies and the planets, and how they're, related at this time. How is that affecting or influencing me, or what is the best way to utilize that energy? So if it's in Virgo and that's the energy of refining, take the opportunity to refine it. We'll talk about that more when we go into the celestial alignment. This is the way that I use astrology. I don't use it as a way to fearmonger people. It's not to do a bunch of fake rituals that make no sense. And we're working with the living sky. You can go on the Sky Live and check everything that I say and verify it, because that's the app that I predominantly use. If you're on other planetarium apps like Stellarium and stuff like that, the boundaries might be different, but at the end of the day, it's just going to be off by, an hour or a day, right? Or something like that. Okay. Feedback completes the loop. So when you refine things and then, life is moving, say, more easily. Let's say you take a course called Return to Center, and it takes you through this 10-day experience where every day in less than a half an hour, you do either a somatic experience or some breath work. You get connected with your body. It's a really cute little course. If you walk away from that and you don't put any of it into practice, then that's just a waste of, the money that you spent, right? It's only beneficial if you implement it. And when you implement it, the feedback is going to get completed, because then you're going to see change in your life because you've implemented what you learned. But a lot of people don't get through the implementation stage. Okay, so don't be one of them people. Make sure you implement it. But implement at least one practice. All right, and that's what it said. I wasn't reading ahead, but that's what it says. It says apply one idea today, observe the results, and adjust once. So maybe what you do is you decide that first thing in the morning before you do anything, you're going to start your day with 3 deep breaths. And then you're going to give yourself some love, and you're going to tell yourself that you're that you're entering, your highest timeline, and, you start your day like that. I don't know, set yourself up with whatever you need. Maybe in the morning you start out with some stretches and some yoga or mindfulness. You're the one that's going to know what the little adjustment is, and see how it works. See how it aligns for you. Mm-hmm. Little changes, tweak them. Little changes, tweak them. And that's how we evolve. Just over and over, like this. All right. Before we get started, I will give you guys one of the. I love you too. I will give you one of these Return to Center cards. Okay. Thank you, sweetie. Love you. All right. Let's see. Flory, would you like a Return to Center card? And viewer up there, would you like a Return to Center card? Skibbity bob. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mary, for following me. I appreciate that. Whoop. Maybe Mary wants a card. That could be what fell out. All right. I have to wait for somebody to ask for a card. Although I think this is general. Maybe this is general. So I don't answer questions like that. Not because there is inherently anything wrong with your question at all. It's just that if you're not Michelle, or, it's about consent, right? I don't check into other people's energy for other people who don't have authority to. It's just the way I work. All right. So Return to Center is based off of like my 10-day program and also my 6-week course. And I'm going to put that card back because I'm going to pick your very own card. And it talks, you'll see, it's nothing. It's not a bad card. Not a bad card at all. All right. Would you like a card? I'll give you a card. Hi, Real Healing. All right. Let's see. What does Flori need to hear in this moment to help her return to center? See, that's as simple as the cards are. What does Flori need to know to help her return to center? This is a good one. It's in the category of reconnection, okay? And the card is called You Can Be Here Without Fixing It. I've been an over-fixer before. I have been. So presence over fixing is the key message of the card. The drive to fix pulls you out of the moment and sustains activation. Okay, when we're fixing, we're actually we're activated, right? It's us being propelled forward, thinking that we have to take on the needs and the responsibilities or the care of somebody else, or that we have to fix the situation because we've assigned responsibility to ourselves, because maybe we were somebody that always had to fix things as children. Okay. Or maybe we were made responsible, or, we've been a caregiver. There's lots of different dynamics. Staying present allows your system to settle and perceive clearly. Okay. So it'll be important for you when something happens, rather than, so that could be like having an argument with a friend and being like, oh my God, I have to fix this. Right. Like I'm, like, and you, so you take ownership for every part, like for maybe, right, as a dynamic. So what you need to do in those moments is remain with the situation without changing it. This doesn't mean you're never going to change it. It's just remain with it in that moment. Notice the sensations in your body and your breath. Okay. And then you're going to want to slow your breath down. Just slow it down. And once you feel yourself like ground into your feet, slow down your breathing, you're focusing on the sensations in your body. So it's going to pull you into your body. And when you get into your body fully, then you're going to be able to make decisions as to whether or not what actually is your responsibility, or what you need to take, ownership or accountability, or if there's something you need to fix at all. And you might realize when you get into your body and you regulate that it's not yours at all. Okay. Let me know how that went. Oh, you ever have one of those days where you just get tired of wearing your glasses? I think I need to take them off a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to talk about a few other things, okay? I'm going to move my keyboard back over here now that we're done with the cards, just so I don't have to do it later. And, oh yes, I have to move my comments. I've been doing that for a while, but these guys went and gave a really awesome way to open and move it over. Very, very cool. Alrighty. We are set up now. Let's talk about the energy of the week, and we'll talk about a few other things along the way. Let's look at what the celestial planets are doing as we go through it. What we just went through, we just had a full moon. We went through Beltane as well on May 1st. And that's a reset, right? We've just moved through a reset, and this happens, when sometimes, give me 1 second. I'm looking for my notes. I want to look at my planets. I want to get my notes on my planets. There we go. I have my alignment. I have my alignment now, guys. We're good. We're good. So all we're doing now is we're just checking on the planets and the movement through everything as all of these energies have transpired. So the sun is in Aries, and maybe in mainstream, they've already moved on to Taurus season. I can't remember when that actually starts. Mercury is in Pisces, Venus is in Taurus, Mars is in Pisces, Jupiter is in Gemini, Saturn is in Pisces, Uranus is in Taurus, Neptune is in Pisces, and then Pluto is in Capricorn. Now, the moon is going to be progressing from Leo. No, where's my other thing? The moon is going to be progressing from Scorpio into Ophiuchus, and then Sagittarius, Capricorn, and then it's going to finalize in Aquarius. So it's moving through those elements today. Sorry, I just lost the other notes that I have on this. Sorry. 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 Alrighty, we've got that. Okay, I got the right. I had my last week's notes, and as soon as I saw that I was talking about the moons that I knew it was not progressing through, I was like, uh-oh, where did I put my notes? All right, so we just had the full moon on the 1st, as I was talking about, which was also Beltane. I did put out a reel on my channels that talks about Beltane and also the full moon. The full moon was in the sign of Libra. That's where the moon was, and the sun is in the sign of Aquarius. I talked about this in the video about how that puts us in that polarity between self and other. And we're looking at where there is imbalances and how to bring things into harmony and so on. And this is what's going to be revealed, is where those imbalances are within relationships, where there's injustices, because that's what full moons do, is reveal. So that's what we had on May 1st. Now, it's a very clear revealing. It's not something that is really like, this is Aries energy, right? It's very direct. So wherever there was action that was misaligned, or where something was being forced, or where something was ready to shift, it's moving. And now we're going to be in the phase of integrating that in the next little bit. So, as I said, we start with our moon in Scorpio. That's where it just got into Scorpio today. And I'd have to look and see exactly what time it went into Scorpio. But at whatever time zone you're in, you would have to adjust for it anyway. Scorpio, when it's on the scene, it is asking for emotional truth. It is asking for emotional depth. And it is bringing to the surface what can no longer be ignored. So we're dealing with this after a full moon that was revealing all of this. So things get pretty real. After we move through our brief day and a half-ish of Scorpio, because it's one of the smaller signs, it holds the smaller space of constellation like Ophiuchus, when it moves through those in about 2 to 3 days between the two of them. Ophiuchus is about the integration, and it's the healing phase, the correction phase. Is when you look at all of the truth that was revealed through Scorpio, and you say to yourself, okay, now that I've healed over this, like, where am I headed from this? Where's the next step? This is where the truth gets processed, not just seen. So that's why Ophiuchus was taken from the astrology, because it's the healing phase. And what they would end up doing is have the truth revealed, and then Sagittarius just take off with the truth, but they bypass that whole step that Ophiuchus brings. So now you might understand why it was taken out. After Ophiuchus, we move to Sagittarius. And with Sagittarius, now that you've healed through it and you understand the direction that you're headed in, or the truth that has been revealed, now you're ready to step into the direction that is aligned. And you start off, and it's maybe not perfectly, but you have the energy to start moving. And then Capricorn comes in and says, okay, let's build something with this that's going to last a little bit longer. So that's when we get structure, responsibility, and what can actually be built. And then Aquarius comes in and says, oh my gosh, let's make this even bigger than that. We can take care of the next generation and all of humanity. So we get a bigger perspective. We have more innovation. Now we're seeing the bigger picture, and we're starting to understand why this all connects, or what it all connects to. So those transitions were May 3rd in Scorpio, May 4th were in Ophiuchus, May 5th were in Sagittarius. So 2 days were in between Scorpio and Ophiuchus. It goes quite quickly. Sagittarius from the 5th, and then on the 8th we go into Capricorn, and then on the 10th, which is when we get together next week, it goes into Aquarius, but I figured I'd talk about that briefly just to say that next week we'll be starting in Aquarius. Okay. The teaching stream. We like to do this every episode where we talk about the teaching stream, or a teaching thing. I like to give you something that you can carry with you, more than just what energies we're going to be experiencing and how best can you work with those energies. But let's talk about why embodiment requires structure. Right? There's a lot of push on the rise of the divine feminine, and on the feminine energy, and on it, on this whole stepping into flow, and, just receiving. And yes, that's a very important part. There's a huge part of flow, but it doesn't do well without structure. That's what the duality is about. It's about a harmony. Right? It's about this balance that comes between the two, which doesn't mean 50% every day. It just means that there is overall balance between the energies, or between structure and flow. So a lot of people can access insight. They can feel things clearly. They can see patterns. They can hear things. They take all kinds of classes, maybe do rituals. Maybe they do lots of journeys, all of that stuff. But embodiment is different, because embodiment requires structure. Embodiment lies in the space of discipline. And I always say this, that discipline is devotion to your highest self, or to the highest outcome, to whichever it is. It requires consistency. It requires direction and decisions that match what you know. And that's what this week is going to begin to ask for, because of the energies that we're dealing with. Okay. So what is our planetary integration? We have Mercury going direct in Pisces, which is going to begin to clear confusion. Thinking is going to be less distorted. Mars moving towards Aries is going to start building that momentum. Action is going to become more available, right? Mars has been in Pisces, and when Mars is in Pisces, that's not about big forward movement at all. It's more about introspection and reflection on what is the direction that you're taking, and is that in alignment with you? There could be some healing on the fact that you haven't been heading in the right direction. That's more of the Pisces energy. As we move into Aries, there's going to be a lot more action available for us, right? That Aries is forward momentum. It's very much direct. And then we have Venus in Taurus, which is stabilizing what we value, which is nice. So what matters becomes clearer through experience. And we have an upcoming Taurus new moon, which will anchor all of this into form. So this is the preparation phase, not the final moment. Okay, so we're going to do our little talk about our embodiment practice. And on Sundays, our embodiment practices is really, you can take a couple of deep breaths. You know, you can put your hand on your heart. You can put both of them on your heart, one on your tummy, and close your eyes and take a few breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Make sure the exhale is longer than the inhale. Allow yourself to just be centered in the moment. And then when you get a little more calm, a little less loud in your mind, then you can ask yourself, what was revealed to me at the full moon? So the full moon was Friday, right? So Friday, Saturday, maybe even on Thursday, something was revealed to you. But whatever it was, just make note of it. The next question is, what am I still integrating? So after what was revealed, what are you working on to implement day to day or to make a habit with? And what are you seeing beginning to take form because of making some of the changes that you've already made, or just because of the revelation that you've had? And then finally, what would it like to support that instead of rushing it, right? If you could step yourself out of urgency, right, out of feeling like you have to run and go and go and go, things are going to become a lot easier and you're going to be able to make decisions a lot clearer, right? When we're rushing things, it's usually because there's some underlying thing that we need to work on, right? And you can say, well, I'm rushing because I need to make more money because I don't have enough money. Yeah, and that may be true. But at the end of the day, if you rush until you can't work because you burn out or you injure yourself, or you're rushing so fast you're not paying attention that you get into an accident, then you're of no help to anybody. So you have to think about that too. Not to put any negativity out there, but you have to think about what is most in alignment with you, because then things are going to align with you beautifully. Just the way that it goes. How do you feel about that? I need a drink. Much better. Much better. How do you feel like the week's going to be? Are you ready for it? Maybe. All right. Did you want to talk about anything else tonight? We can talk about the Christic embodiment method that I'm working on, or that I've created, really, that I'm starting to make content on. That's talking about your chakra system across the multidimensional spectrum. And if that's something that interests you guys and you want to talk about it, just let me know and we can talk about that for sure. We can talk about a bunch of different things. It's up to you. I channeled a message today. I haven't put it up yet. I'll probably put it up a little bit later on. And this time it came from Mother Gaia. I'm going to start putting deeper channeled messages into my embodied leadership circle group, which is available on my website. I have a free group there too. You could join that. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea since it's free. What else do I have to say? Return to Center just recorded its third day. So we're doing day 4 tomorrow at 3 p.m. Mountain, which would be 5 p.m. Eastern. If you're interested in exploring that, go check out the website. And if you really want to know what it's like, then send me a message and I'll send you a link to watch the first day absolutely free on YouTube. Okay. So definitely if you're interested, send me a message that you'd be interested in checking that out and I'll send you the link. Okay. Do you guys need help with anything? We can talk about anything. Lots and lots of things. Oh, I have to do my puzzle. Hang on. Okay, I did that one. This one should be coming up next. Let me know if you need help with anything. Hello. One. We just went through what's happening for the week with the energy. We just check in with the cards to see what's happening with everybody energetically. And yeah, I was just seeing if anybody needed anything before I hopped off here. But everybody seems to be quite quiet tonight, not giving me too much feedback. So we're going to hop off and go and enjoy the rest of our evening. Yeah, but if you want to know more about Return to Center, you can go check out my website. You can always check out the readings, the free group, lots of stuff there to check out. If you have any questions, I offer a free 30-minute clarity call. And you can always just send me an email at Anshara'El, same as the name on this one here. It goes Sharia at, and it says Anshara'El after my name. So it's just that, no apostrophe though, just Anshara'El at gmail.com. You can go check that out. And, or if you have any questions or you want to reach out, you can reach out in that way, email or through my site. There's lots of different ways. All right. I'm going to see you back here on Wednesday at 7:30. The thing about Wednesday the next one is I have a nonprofit, Hugs for Homeless, and I have an event where we are being donated 300 hygiene kits, which is really exciting. I'm super, super excited to get these out into the community. So I may be late next Wednesday. We'll see. It shouldn't be too bad, but it all depends on whether or not I get to take the stuff early or if I have to wait until like the very, very end of the evening. And I'm not sure about that. That's something that I have to check in on. If I find out some information and I know for certain that I'm not going to be able to do Wednesday, then I'll move it over to Thursday and we'll just get together on Thursday instead. All right. But either way, check out the website. And if you have any questions, you know how to connect with me. Love you. See you on Wednesday. Bye. Have a great night, guys.